can you speak a bit about how the human conditioning is part of oneness? Yeah, sure, Petra. So if we go back to the Big Bang, which has never happened because all we ever have is now, but if we go back to the supposed Big Bang, everything is a succession of what's come before. So you are here because your grandparents mated, your great-grandparents mated, your great-great-grandparents mated, your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents killed off all the Nathaniels. Did I say that word right? Nathaniels. You know, like spreaded to Europe, or Petra, I presume you're European with that name. Or American, or Australia, you know, like, or you're descended from Europe, so spread to Europe. I got confused by trying to be PC about talking about race then. Anyway, so all these things that came before is contributing to every decision and everything that you do now. Even language, the fact that our ancestors created language and the ability to communicate like this, that there was a mix of all these different races, so the language kept evolving and changing. So everything comes from the past. So every choice, every decision that you make now is dependent on everything that came before, the way your parents brought you up, your teachers, what you were exposed to. There isn't somebody that's acting freely now, or speaking freely now, or thinking freely. You've taken ideas from the past. Simultaneously, there is no past, and it's simply arising from now, from what is, from this moment. This. Which is really miraculous. So the way that you see it all as oneness is that there is nothing which is independent from anything else. We're like a kaleidoscope. We're all dependent on the other colors. We're all dependent on everything else. Then you can go from the other angle and break it down, as in like looking at the details of everything. That if you keep breaking us down and zooming in, like there's smaller and smaller particles until eventually you come to nothing. So, you know, you could say that we're made up of atoms, like, and so the way we move is dependent on the way the atoms are lined up. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. That gives me shivers even thinking about it. Like, how is this working? So we're standing here as apparent humans with apparent free will, but then if you zoom in on us, we're like all these atoms lined up in different ways, giving the appearance of something. And then if you go even more into science, you could look at something like quantum entanglement, which means that two atoms that interact, then no matter how far away they are from themselves in the universe, are affecting the actions of the atoms. So then it's like all of us, because our atoms are always continuously interacting, we're like having all this effect on everything else. It's like mind-blowing when you go into science. Like, how could we ever get stuck in the notion that we are separate entities living in a separate world, interacting with all these separate objects? It's such a simplistic idea. It's so mind-blowing and profound and beautiful when we begin to like step out of these boxes of what we've been taught and ask questions. It's beautiful. Yeah, thanks Petra for your question.